Why is it that Red Sox players take much longer to come back from injury than those of other major league teams? There's a lot of speculation out there, and I'll give you some reasons, I think, why this is the case. Hey everybody, it's Paulie. Welcome back to This Week in Red, where we're talking all things Red Sox and Major League Baseball. Let me preface this clip by saying that I don't know the definite answer to the question that I'm about to address, but I'm going to speculate a little bit because I know a lot of Red Sox fans out there are wondering, why is it that Red Sox players take so long to come back from injury as opposed to players on other major league teams? And it's a very interesting question. If you look at the cases of Jacoby Ellsbury and Carl Crawford, these two guys have taken forever to come back. Now, Ellsbury is currently back in the lineup, but his original shoulder injury was supposed to be a 6 to 8 week thing. Now, he was hurt on April 13th. So even if you go out on the 8-week timeline, you figure he's back by mid-June. It's now almost mid-July, and Ellsbury's just now coming back. We saw this 2 years ago when Ellsbury had that rib injury where he basically played 13 games the whole season and was out the rest of the year. There were questions about his toughness, questions about his talent and his makeup. Did he really want to play? Well, he came back in 2011 and had an MVP-like season. Now, some of the same questions started to surface about Ellsbury when he had this injury with the shoulder this season. Now, I don't think that Ellsbury's not a tough player, but I think the influence of agents like Scott Boras in the case of Ellsbury saying, hey, don't come back too soon, make sure you're right, you can get a big contract down the road, you don't want to mess that up. You combine that with the fact that the Red Sox, their training and health staff has not been right now for at least 3 or 4 years. They replaced their head guy, Dr. Thomas Gill, with Mike Reinhold. He's now the head trainer or physician or what have you. And it's been speculated that he is the guy where the buck stops as far as determining when a player is ready to come back to the Major League roster from injuries. Now, you're supposed to get the medical staff's input. There's no doubt about it. But ultimately, I think when you get the medical reports, it's up to the GM and the manager to decide when a player comes back into the Major League fold. And I don't think that that's happening with the Red Sox. I think they're relying too much on their training and medical staff and not enough on Bobby Valentine and Ben Cherington's decisions and ability to evaluate players. And I think it's hurt the Red Sox because you've had guys out for a much longer period than they should be. Carl Crawford, he continues to have injury after injury. He's expected to come back. And when he does, it's going to be interesting to see how well he plays. He hasn't really played well in his rehab stint. He's been 0-4 a lot of the times out there. But you know what? Crawford is, pretty much resigned to the fact that, hey, I got to get back in the lineup here. I have to come back and help this Major League team in any capacity I can. And if I re-injure myself, so be it. And, that should be the attitude that these players have. They should want to be back in that Major League lineup as soon as possible. So, as I said, I don't have the answers as to why it takes so long for Red Sox players to come back. Maybe you guys do out there, and if you do, let me know what your thoughts are on the Red Sox rehab process and why it takes their players much longer to come back. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and tell all your friends about This Week in Red.